Tonight on Newswatch, I'll give you the news on the newest Iowa State Senator.
And I have a story on the president's national emergency veto.
And I'll tell you about Iowa State basketball and their trip to the NCAA tournament.
Spring has finally sprung here in Ames. I hope you all got a chance to enjoy that beautiful day we had today. We're going to have warmer temperatures throughout the week. I'll have more on that later. Newswatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch. I'm Cassandra Olson.
And I'm Alan Chatfield.
Thank you for joining us. The fifth and final candidate for Dean of ISU's College of Engineering, Karen Tolley of Pennsylvania State University. Tolley is a University Distinguished Professor and head of Pennsylvania State's Department of Mechanical Engineering. Tolley's candidacy includes a visit to Iowa State from today until Thursday. Tolley will be hosting an open forum from 2 to 3 p.m. on Wednesday in the Alliant Energy Lee Lou Auditorium in Howe Hall to meet with students and faculty.
CBD oil is illegal to sell and distribute in Story County. Story County Attorney Jessica Reynolds clarified this law in a newsletter released on Monday. Iowa code bans the substance from the state unless it falls under the Medical Cannabidiol Act that allows CBD to be used in some medical cases if it is authorized by a licensed dispensary that has been approved by the Iowa Department of Public Health. A request from the Ames Police Department led Reynolds to create the news release after the department had received many questions from confused citizens.
A faculty member from a Des Moines public elementary school is in jail for sexual exploitation charges. Police found child pornography on 49-year-old Thatcher Lane Williams' home computer. Williams was employed as an office manager at Monroe Elementary School. Williams was placed on leave once law enforcement began their investigation last January. A letter from Principal Stephanie Flickinger to parents stated that these charges aren't believed to involve any DMPS students. Williams is being held in the Polk County Jail on a $50,000 bond.
A new Iowa State Senator was sworn in to the Senate yesterday. Democrat Aaron Giddens was sworn in yesterday afternoon after he won the special election held last week. The special election was held in order to decide who would replace Jeff Danielson after he resigned earlier this year. Giddens defeated Republican former state legislator Walt Rogers and a Libertarian Fred Perryman. Giddens has been assigned to the same committees Danielson was a part of. These committees include Education, State Government, Veterans, Transportation, and Tax Policy.
A service on Iowa State's campus allows students to learn more about themselves by exploring their interests and skills. Jim Heinrichs has more.
The Student Services Building is the home of several offices which aim to help students with different aspects of college life. One of these offices is Career Exploration Services, which assists students with identifying what kinds of jobs they would be interested in.
So the main service we provide is walk-in career coaching, which is focused on helping you find a major or career path that's a good fit for your interests, skills, personality, values. It's one-on-one working with generally a peer career coach, doing things like interest inventories and just like talking about yourself.
One way that career coaches narrow down students' interests is by utilizing the Holland Code, which divides people's interests into 6 different categories. The office contains a large amount of resources to further navigate career ideas and is open to all Iowa State students.
I feel pretty confident that all 36,000 students could benefit from our services.
For ISUtv, with Sarah Peterson, I'm Jim Heinrichs.
Career Exploration Services is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and walk-ins are welcome. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more news after these messages. Welcome back to Newswatch. The House of Representatives fell short to overturn President Donald Trump's veto today. The veto came after Congress sent Trump a resolution to annul the national emergency that Trump had declared at the U.S.-Mexico border earlier this month. The Democratic-controlled House fell 38 votes short of overturning his veto. The Associated Press reports that the Senate will not attempt its own override, and the veto will stand.
The Missile Defense Agency conducted another successful test of its ground-based interceptor system yesterday. Yesterday's missile test involved a dummy warhead launched from Kwajalein Atoll, located in the Pacific Ocean, with its destination being the U.S. West Coast. Sensors picked up the missile, causing 2 interceptor missiles to be launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The first interceptor hit the dummy warhead, destroying it. The second interceptor hit the largest chunk of debris it could find. The test concluded that the threat of a real missile attack on the U.S., we could fire multiple interceptor missiles without them getting confused on what missiles they are supposed to target and destroy.
Philadelphia City Health Department shut down 3 dental clinics due to unsanitary procedures that could have led to patients contracting HIV. Philadelphia Department of Public Health shut down 3 locations of the True Family Dental Clinic back in December due to conducting procedures with instruments that may not have been properly cleaned. Patients of these 3 dental clinics have been encouraged to talk to their regular healthcare provider as soon as possible to get tested for HIV, as well as the hepatitis B and C viruses. As of right now, the Philadelphia Department of Health is not aware of any infections caused by the practices at the clinics, but to be on the safe side, patients should go and get tested.
NASA will not be doing an all-women spacewalk. NASA had plans of reaching a milestone by doing an all-women spacewalk this coming Friday in order to install lithium-ion batteries to the station's solar panels. Unfortunately, their plan to do an all-women spacewalk will have to wait till later because they do not have enough correctly sized spacesuits for the crew of 2 women to safely go on a spacewalk. Right now, they only have 1 medium-sized spacesuit that is ready for a spacewalk, but both women require a medium-sized suit for spacewalks. NASA will be replacing one of the female astronauts with a male who will be able to fit safely into a different size suit in order to proceed with the important spacewalk mission. We'll be right back with Isa Cornair and your weekly weather forecast. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Newswatch.
Corner here with your weather update. Here comes the sun. We saw it today. We'll see it again tomorrow. We'll see it throughout the weekend. We're going to have some winds picking up tomorrow and then some warmer conditions later this week. Looking at the forecast right now across the state of Iowa, we can see that beautiful 50-degree weather here in Ames. A little bit warmer on the western half of the state. We have 54 down in Council Bluffs, a 53 over in Sioux City, and then cooling down as we get into the northeastern side. We see that 41 in Decorah and then a 46 up in Mason City. Looking at the Midwest as a whole right now, we see that same kind of pattern. Again, warmer down in the south with that 60 over in North Platte, a 52 down in Kansas City right below us. But those northern states are battling those colder temperatures. We see that 37 over in Bismarck and a 48 up in Minneapolis. So not as warm as we've had it here in Iowa, but still not that bad. Looking at the satellite radar today, we saw a slight breeze coming through the middle part of the state here and then picking up on that western side as we got later into the evening. Those are going to shift our way coming in tomorrow. And looking at even tonight, we're going to see that pickup in wind from the northwest coming out at 23 to up to 28 miles per hour, high of 38, and then a slight patch of fog with the rainy mix coming in this evening. Looking at the weather for tomorrow, like I said, beautiful, sunny, a little bit windy with those winds still coming out of the northwest at that 20 mile an hour, but a high of 66, so that wind isn't really going to make a difference. It's going to be beautiful outside. That walk to class is going to be a breeze. Looking at the weather across the state of Iowa tomorrow, again, just beautiful degrees up in the 60s, 71 over in Sioux City, but as we see, Cedar Rapids 63, Waterloo 64, so it's going to be just beautiful. We're not going to have anything to complain about right here in the heart of the USA. Looking at the extended forecast for the week, as I said, you're going to see the sun throughout the weekend, a slight chance of showers on Friday, and we're going to dip down into some colder temperatures as we get into the weekend, but still above freezing, so that's nothing to complain about. That sun is going to feel so nice. Looking into next week, that Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see those clouds coming in, so the sun's going to disappear, but those temperatures are warming up as we see right down here, so it's not going to be bad. We're going to have some clouds, but it's going to feel so nice. That's all I have for weather for you tonight. Enjoy the sun. We'll be right back with more news after the break.
Welcome back to Newswatch. It was a rough weekend for Cyclone basketball. The Iowa State men's basketball team was upset by the number 11 seed Ohio State Buckeyes. It ended an otherwise successful comeback season where the Cyclones won their 4th Big 12 tournament in 6 years. The Cyclones now look to next year where they are faced with the departures of starters Nick Weiler-Babb and Mariel Shayok. One person who will not be leaving Ames is Steve Prohm. After a week of rumors tying him to the head coaching job at his alma mater, Alabama, Prohm signed a 3-year extension. The extension comes with Prohm securing his 2nd Big 12 title in 3 years. It comes just after Jamie Pollard thrilled Cyclone fans by locking up Matt Campbell to an extension. Prohm's new contract will keep him with the Cyclones through 2025. Despite Prohm's commitment to the program, power forward Cameron Lard has decided to transfer from Iowa State. The decision follows a disappointing sophomore campaign that saw Lard get suspended for the first month of the season and only averaged 12 minutes per game. Lard's departure leaves the Cyclones with just 3 returners in the post in Michael Jacobson, Solomon Young, and freshman George Condit. The Cyclone women's basketball team also had a rough go of it in the tournament. After dominating the round of 64, the Cyclones were stunned by Missouri State in Hilton Monday night. Iowa State only hit 2 threes after averaging nearly 9 threes per game on the year. Despite that, Bridget Carleton scored 31 points to try and keep Iowa State in it, but in the end it wasn't enough, as Missouri State won 69-60. With that loss, Monday was also the final game for Iowa State great Bridget Carleton. Carleton finished her career just 7 points away from the school's all-time scoring record. She is the top 5 on Iowa State's all-time list in points, blocks, steals, and three-pointers made. She was even more impressive in her final year of eligibility. Carleton was named as Iowa State's first ever Big 12 Player of the Year and was also named a second-team All-American. Carleton is expected to be drafted in the upcoming WNBA draft. We wish her the best of luck in the future. Sports, but don't go anywhere. Newswatch will be right back right after the break.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Here's a fun fact for you. If you attempt to board a plane naked while shouting that your clothes make you less aerodynamic, you will be detained. A man in Russia attempted to board a plane in his birthday suit at Moscow's Domodedovo airport. According to eyewitnesses, the man passed through registration and proceeded to strip his clothes off and run onto the jet bridge. He shouted that he was naked because, quote, clothing impairs the aerodynamics of the body, unquote. The man was intercepted by airport staff and was seen by medical professionals.
A break-in at the U.S. Bank in Dubuque leaves the culprit dead. Just after 12:30 p.m., employees at the U.S. Bank reported hearing a loud sound almost like a bomb going off at the U.S. Bank located on 270th West 7th Street in Dubuque today. The culprit of the bank heist was part of last Thanksgiving's notorious meal, the turkey. That's right, a turkey allegedly flew through the bank's glass window, breaking the glass and killing itself. As far as we know, nobody except the bank robbing turkey was hurt.
Wow, so turkeys, flights, all kinds of stuff. Did you guys have a chance to fly anywhere over spring break?
Fly anywhere? I stayed here in Ames. I didn't see any birds killed. I saw a couple like fly in front of my car as I was driving, you know.
Yeah.
But
I just drove everywhere, so I didn't have to deal with any of those flight issues.
That's good, me either, so.
Well, that's all we have for this edition of Newswatch.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at ISUtv.
And as always, stay warm, stay safe, and stay classy, Ames.